Feeling that pressure from the IELTS listening test? Well, in this explainer, we're going to turn that anxiety into a rock-solid strategy, giving you the confidence you need to totally ace it. Let's dive right in. You know that feeling, right? Where the information is just coming at you way too fast? If you've ever felt that, you are so not alone. It's a high-stakes test for sure, and it's designed to be a challenge. But what if you had a clear plan to cut through all that noise? Well, that's exactly what we're about to do. We're going to build your success from the ground up using this strategy pyramid. We'll start with a solid base of rules and the right mindset, and then we'll build all the way up to the peak, that one key technique that's going to completely transform how you listen. So here's our game plan. We'll start with the listening test challenge itself, then we'll master the rules, get into a pro listener's mindset, unlock your listening superpower, and finally, we'll talk about how practice really does make perfect. Okay, first things first, let's set the stage. The IELTS listening test isn't just one type of listening. It's a mix of everything, from everyday situations, like booking a hotel, to more academic stuff, like a university lecture. You're going to hear conversations and monologues, all designed to test your entire range of listening skills. All right, let's lay the foundation of our pyramid. These are the absolute non-negotiable rules of the game. Getting these right is your first step, and honestly, they're the easiest points you can get, so you've just got to know these inside and out. Here are the 5 unbreakable laws. First, don't just tune out that introduction. It gives you crucial context. Second, use every single second of prep time to read the questions. You need to know what you're listening for. Third, always check the word limit. It's such an easy way to lose a point. Fourth, write your answers down as you're listening, because you only hear it once. And finally, please never leave a blank answer. A good guess is always better than nothing. Now, let's talk about the magic number, 10. This is your safety net. You get 10 whole minutes at the very end of the test just for transferring your answers to the answer sheet. So don't waste precious listening time trying to write perfectly. Just scribble your answers down and then make them perfect in those final 10 minutes. And when you do transfer those answers, you have to be so careful. It is incredibly easy to lose points here. Think about it. If the examiner can't read what you wrote, 0 points. One little spelling mistake, 0 points. Everything has to be clear and correct. All your hard work comes down to this one final step. Okay, our foundation is solid. Now we're climbing the pyramid to the next level, which is all about what's going on in your head, your mindset. How you handle the pressure is just as important as knowing the rules. This is all about being mentally tough. Listen up, because this might be the single most important piece of advice you get. Let me be real with you. You are going to miss a question. It happens to literally everyone. The key is to not let that one mistake snowball and cause you to miss the next 3 questions while you're busy panicking. You have to train yourself to just let it go and immediately refocus. This is a perfect way to visualize it. On the left, that's panic mode. Your brain is stuck in the past, trying to remember something that's already gone. But on the right, that's focus mode. You're looking ahead, you're jotting down just what you need, and you are staying in the moment. Forget about having a messy booklet. Your focus is everything. Okay, we've got our foundation, we've built up our mindset, and now we are at the very top of the pyramid. This right here is the real game changer. This is the skill that separates a good score from a truly great one. This is your listening superpower. So to really get this superpower, we got to break down how listening actually works. We all use 2 kinds of knowledge. There's linguistic knowledge, that's the nuts and bolts, words, grammar, sounds. Then there's non-linguistic knowledge, which is the bigger picture, the context, the topic, the situation. When we speak our native language, we blend these 2 together perfectly without even thinking about it. And that right there is the secret sauce. The test isn't just about passively hearing words. It's about becoming an active listener. When you combine the context with the words you're hearing, you can actually start to predict what kind of information is coming next. You stop just being a receiver and you become a participant. So, that sounds great, but how do you actually do it? Well, it all boils down to one simple, powerful question you need to ask yourself for every single part of the test. Who are you in this conversation? And here it is, your superpower is realizing that in every conversation, you are playing a role. I mean, think about it. You can't talk back, right? So one of the speakers is basically your stand-in. Your job is to figure out which speaker is representing you so you can just laser focus on the information they need or the information they are getting. Let's make this crystal clear. Imagine a hotel check-in. When the customer is asking questions like, what's the Wi-Fi password or what time is breakfast? In that moment, you are the customer. You need to listen for the answers to your questions. But then, boom, the role flips. When the staff asks for a name and a credit card number, you're not the customer anymore. Now you are the hotel staff, and you need to listen for the details the customer is giving you. Knowing whose shoes you're standing in is the key. So, now you have the rules, the mindset, and the superpower, your whole toolkit. But a tool is pretty useless if you don't practice using it, right? And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important part of all this, practice. And look, the best kind of practice isn't just grinding through old tests again and again. It's about weaving active listening into your daily life. The next time you listen to an English podcast, don't just hear it. Ask yourself, who is the host talking to? What's my role here as a listener? When you watch a TV show, zero in on a conversation and figure out who wants information and who's giving it. If you make this a habit, you'll be training your superpower every single day. So that's your pyramid for success. A solid foundation of rules, the mental strength of the right mindset, and the power of playing a role. The next time you put on your headphones, you have a choice. Are you just going to let the English sounds wash over you? Or are you going to truly start listening? The choice is all yours.